What's up, everybody? Sid and Millie, we're back. What are we going to be talking about today, Millie?
Well, today we are going to be talking about iPad parents.
You've heard of the iPad kid.
Yeah.
But have you ever thought that maybe it's the iPad parent?
Yeah.
Whose fault really is it?
100%. Yeah, we were out at dinner last night, and yeah, thought it was pretty interesting. Like a family sat kind of nearby us. We were on our little date, and we essentially watched.
Well, kind of just like noticed basically as soon as the family sat down, it was the parents and then two kids, and they were both probably under 5 years old. And literally within 10 seconds of them sitting down, parents whipped out the iPads and set them up on the table. And kids playing little games. I don't really know what they were doing. I just literally noticed the kids were looking at the iPads the entire time they were at dinner.
Yeah, and we've seen similar behavior on like trains and stuff when we've been around. Like parents will literally just put the screen in front of the kid
right in front
to
of
like
them.
occupy their attention. And yeah, it's pretty sad. Like I don't know, I just feel like you guys are choosing to have children. You're choosing to have like a child. And they need more stimulation, more human contact than a iPad can give them.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're literally stunting their social abilities by not including them in any of your conversations or talking to them.
Teaching them how to behave at a restaurant.
Yeah, teaching them that, you can be at a restaurant but not be glued to a screen the whole time. Because it's like, these are going to be the same parents who growing up as the kids are just on their phones all the time and like, oh, well, these kids nowadays always on their phones, can't put the screen down, but it's like, look at where they came from.
Right, yeah, they've had a screen pushed in front of their face from the time they were in like infants.
Basically,
And yeah, like you can't really grow a child's mind or a curiosity through a screen. Like, it's just sad, like really bad for like the eyes. Like there's, a lot of, I guess there's not, shit, what these shut Oh. There's not like research that's come out about it yet, but there's a lot of like newer studies that are being done about like, these devices, the signals the devices give off, the electromagnetic signals that are being sent off from these devices, and if it is enough of an issue for them to be doing research on it and to be researching the effects on adults, just think about what it would be doing to children.
Yeah, well, I had just seen a study the other day that was talking about, like they did a study on, I think, 60 children ages like 3 to 5 or 3rd to 5th grade or something with the 3 and 5. And it was talking about how like they have linked the screen time to like lack of some white matter or something in the brain. I can't scientifically explain that, but basically the study was saying like it's not allowing children's brains to develop.
Yeah, that's like not surprising though, because it's just like I mean, we grew up obviously right in the like late 90s, early 2000s, so kind of in like the time where like cartoons were a big thing, and obviously we did have like TV and stuff, but we were never fully occupied with like a singular device just like glued in front of our face. I don't think I ever recall like our parents just like I can like using devices at a restaurant. That's like a golden rule of like parenthood. Like, don't use your phone at the restaurant.
I know.
Like, we would get in trouble for even like checking our phone. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just, I know it's a different generation, but again, the kids are not deciding that.
Right.
Like, the parents are making a decision because they feel, I don't know, maybe they need a mental break. Maybe, the kids are, rough in public. But at the end of the day, that is just a result of the parenting that the child has received. So if you are deciding the best solution for your child is to put a device in front of their face to occupy them instead of you engaging with your child,
and whatever happened
that's
to
bad
coloring
parenting.
Books?
Yeah, I mean,
I remember as a kid, like even
coloring
restaurants
book,
would have them sometimes, depending on the restaurant, but
true.
like if not, my parents would always bring something to occupy me, but it's like something that would be using
Actually
my fine motor
engaging,
skills and using
yeah.
my brain to think about staying in the lines
Literally,
or what colors I
clicking
want
on
to
a
use
screen is
and
not fine motor
things like
skills
that.
at all.
Yeah, like you're not actually allowing your child to make any
Mm-hmm.
like independent decisions.
Yeah.
You know, even
Yeah.
like coloring is something that can allow them to express creativity and
Yeah,
make
it's true.
decisions about what colors they want to use.
True,
And
maybe uncover a hidden talent.
exactly.
Who knows? But I mean, also just like the element of being fully disengaged from their parents' conversation, right?
Yep.
Like when you're sitting at the dinner table, when you're hearing your parents talk, when you're around people who are a higher level than you that are talking. Children are sponges, right? So they might pick up on a big word. They might pick up on, higher concepts than other children of their age would understand.
Well, right.
And you're taking that opportunity away from them.
Exactly. And like the big thing about children too is asking questions. They're
Yeah.
like, what does that mean? Why? Why?
I
Why?
know,
And
yeah.
I'm sure that is not the most fun to deal with.
But you chose to
But
have
it's
the
like,
kid. You
that
chose
is
that.
literally your job,
Right,
as
the parent,
is
it
to
is not,
enrich their mind
facts.
and grow them into a functioning human being.
Exactly. It is not enough to just put a screen in front of their face. Like, you're essentially using that screen as a pacifier so that the child's attention is not your problem, but you chose to have the child. So their attention is your problem. It should be on you to engage them and involve them in the social setting, in the social
100%.
hierarchy of family, of the people around. Like, they could be observing the things around them instead of staring at a screen. Like, I just think it's very lazy parenting.
It is.
And it's a shortcut. Like, that's what you're doing. You're taking a shortcut, and it is inevitably going to hurt your child in the long run because they're missing out on really key parts of like childhood.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just from staring at a screen. So it's just
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we feel very strongly about this as people who have chosen to never have children. So like, obviously, maybe it's an unpopular opinion. I don't care. But I just feel
at the end of the day, you can't argue
still have an
against
opinion about something like
100%. And I mean, the one thing that nobody can do, and no parent who is on a high horse about having a child regardless, you can't dispute the fact that there are developmental consequences to the screen time. It is already scientifically proven. So it's just like, I'm not going to argue against fact with anybody. Like, the fact of the matter is, when you put the screen in front of your child's face, you are inhibiting their development as a human being. It's a fact, and the studies are just going to continue to come out and continue to prove what we're saying right now.
100%.
So do not take the shortcut. Engage with your child, speak to them as a human being at a human level, treat them like a little human, because that's what they are, and do not take the shortcut by burying their heads in devices.
Yeah, and I would also, just like on the point of screen time being damaging for children, it can also be damaging for adults.
Facts.
It's not isolated to that, like
That's
we're talking
so
about
true.
that specifically, but it's like there's studies that also, which is why our phones show us our screen time. Because that's also damaging even to human social, like adult social skills.
True.
Because the less that you're talking to people, the less that you're having conversations with people outside of like texting or messaging or scrolling on social media or AI chatbots, the lower your social abilities are getting over time.
That's a fact.
Because you're not having
natural
conversations.
We'll see it on the street. We'll be walking on the street, and there are like literally full-blown adults just walking with their head in their phone, like just walking, not even paying attention to anything. Like, we will be walking right towards this person, and then it will be right when you get in their face when they finally look up and see there's another human being, and then they just walk around. It's like not, those are not functioning people. Like that is not the way to exist. Like, I'm not saying you have to say hi and bye and acknowledge every single person, but to have your phone buried in the screen like that, it's not healthy.
No.
And it's also led to a lot of these like kind of dangerous ideas being like brewed in these chat rooms and stuff. And the reality is, over 50% of accounts on the internet are bots. They're bots. They're not real people. So like, that is something to be aware of. Like, for adults as well with screen time.
Yes.
Like, these are mostly not real people you're engaging with. The real people are the ones you are seeing in the real world.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like this also kind of goes hand in hand even with some of our videos we've made about the cities we've been to in Europe and like the community. Obviously, we see the same thing happening in Europe as well, people on their phones and everything.
Of course.
But it's also a lot more of like a community base because people are out, people are biking, people are walking, people are sitting in parks. Like way less of your time is spent sitting in a house or like
because I mean you don't have to pay to go to certain places, whereas
right.
like in the States, you know, you basically gotta pay to go anywhere. I guess you could go to a park, but obviously they're not gonna have infrastructure anyway. We don't have to get into all that, but regardless, you know, it's not as easy to get outside in those places,
right.
Which again kind of brings it back to why parents are doing what they're doing with the kids, right? Our society in the United States also doesn't have a great agency around protecting children, so people aren't letting their kids go outside. You know, they're not letting them play outside. No, so what is the solution? People are just putting the screens in front of their faces, and it's just sad to see. So if you have brats, you're making the decision, a lifelong decision, to, you know, engage with this human being, and especially in their more impressionable years, it's massively important that you make that human impression with them.
Yes.
Don't let it rely on screens and TV and media to raise your children. It's just not. It's not gonna.
You need to do the heavy lifting.
Yeah, you need to be hearing those why questions, and it shouldn't be, you know, the kid asking, you know, why their device isn't working. That doesn't count. They're supposed to be asking questions about the world around, you know.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just feel like a lot of young people are watching really damaging videos on the internet.
Yeah.
And like learning really damaging ideals on the internet.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
Yeah,
and
I
it's funny because parents are so convinced that, like, even parents who are our age, like, you know, they're parents that are 29-year-olds, right? It's like they think that they know everything about everything, and it's not true. These kids are finding chat rooms, they're finding secret websites, they're finding all sorts of different ways to get into these things. So you might think that, you know, they're going to go the traditional route of finding people on Instagram or whatever, but that's not what the kids are doing nowadays. So even like parents thinking that they have this like enlightened position on where the internet is and what people are doing on the internet, you probably don't really know. Which is another reason to be careful.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like that, 100%. Even some other, I don't know, just like big popular people on even like YouTube and things like that with, you know, I don't know, a lot of that like misogynistic like ideals get like pushed onto people.
A lot of.
So I feel like, even if you're teaching, exactly. Even if you're trying to teach your child like good positive things about the world, you know, like they're gonna be listening to people on the internet saying different.
You can be impressionable, so that's kind of like the danger with it. And obviously, not saying, you know, you never know what you're doing with the iPad. But again, it's just highlighting some of the dangers and some of the reasons you should want to actually engage with your child and prevent them from getting addicted to screens. We know once they get to adulthood, obviously we all work on screens, like that's just the reality of being an adult. But while they're still in their childhood, engage with them at a human level and don't just put a screen in their face.
So important.
So that's our thoughts on iPad parents, because they're the ones that are putting the iPads in front of those kids' faces. So if you made it this far,
thanks for watching,
and we'll see you next time.
Peace.